Hey, it's your sister Ro, and all I need is a few minutes to take a look at two tweets that I saw from different celebrities about the Diddy trial, what's going on. So, one was from Safaree, the reality TV star, Love and Hip Hop, I believe, Atlanta. And I think he's on Miami, one of those. And then from Boosie the rapper. So let's take a look at what Safari said. He said, is at the bottom right there. What Boosie said, I'm going to make it bigger, when I'm done with Safari. So, man, I would not want my kids in the courtroom listening to someone say, I made an E, in a woman's mouth. If you've been watching the trial, you know what's been going on. That's disgusting. This is insane for them kids to hear. So a lot of people are, conflicted on this statement, and even on especially the young girl being at the trial. It's difference of opinion. But one thing you have to remember: these young girls are at an impressionable age. Their brains are still developing. So remembering you as a child, there are certain things that you do, there's certain things you probably was afraid of, you didn't want to do, or you wanted to do because somebody told you something or you saw something and it left an impression on you, and it changed your mind, it changed your behavior. It's certain stuff that you did or didn't do because of what you heard or what you saw at a young age, even if it's somebody that's the same age as you or somebody older, but you were young at that time. So these young ladies are sitting in this trial listening to the outrageous stuff that is being said, outrageous, wicked, evil things. I mean, disgusting things and this is just the beginning. So we don't even know what other things, the prosecution has. It's going to affect them some way, somehow. And definitely only time will tell how it has affected them. So, but then again, who is protecting these girls? Yeah, it seems like they protecting them. They have security detail. Their brothers are holding their hands and stuff like that. That's physically, but emotionally, mentally, who is protecting them? Because you supposed when you cover your children, when you're protecting your children, you protect them in all aspects. You protect them in all aspects because they are precious, they're innocent. But then again, maybe they been exposed to these things. You just never know. Maybe he had already told them these things, or this is what they're gonna say and whatever. We just never know. But it is kind of weird. So we could think that, oh yeah, that's so crazy for them that he's sitting there. But he may have already exposed them in a sense by telling them beforehand, because I'm sure he kind of knew maybe what they had on him, because they have to do discovery and stuff like that, and they have to send whatever they have to the defense. So he may have shared it with them, so it may or may not affect them in the way that we think that is doing. But this is just crazy. Goes to show, even if you told them this is what they're gonna say, but it's certain places is not for young people, young people that are just growing up, just getting into life. So that was crazy. So this is what Boosie said. So this is what Boosie had to say. If anything, this should be a DV case, not a, trafficking case. She enjoyed the wild ex parties and the extravagant gifts on the back end. All these years of ex, whatever, forgot what that name said. And you mean to tell me she didn't enjoy it? Sure. I'm sure it's not about her enjoying it or not. Okay? Especially if you're allegedly under the influence. I'm convinced she enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure she got a release. That's what he said. She got a release during these offs. It was a lifestyle. This was consensual. She was his girlfriend trying to give someone life in prison for this BS. So I'm sure if it was just a DV case, That would be very reckless and irresponsible of the prosecution, the state attorney's office, to especially a high profile person as Diddy, just on if they only have what Cassie said, like, thing that he did to her in the how he tried her in the hotel and all these things. That would be very reckless and irresponsible of them. I'm sure they have way more than that. This is just the beginning. They started with Cassie because everybody was familiar with that. But of course, this is just the beginning of the trial. We don't know what else they have under their in their arsenal. We don't know. And to say that, oh, she had a release like that is important. So what if the person hit the right spot? Yes, you're gonna have a release. Because I remember I used to watch this. It was one guy. He was a serial. He would go into these women's window and take advantage of them, or word them. And he said sometimes some of the women would get a release. So that meant they wanted it. That was supposed to happen to them because they got a release. What Lucy's saying is dumb. Certain stuff, if you don't have anything good to say, just be quiet. This is you're not, at the end of the day, Boosie is a rapper. We're not lawyers. We just, by experience, listening to different things, we may know some stuff, but we don't know the judicial system as we think we do. So if it's just this DV case, this is all that they have. I'm sure this is not all that they have. And just because a person had a release or whatever doesn't mean that they enjoyed it. It just had a release. And then after time, maybe they did. She may have enjoyed it in the beginning, but at the rate probably when she started to do it and stuff like that, it just became a lot. It just became too much, and then she didn't get enjoyment out of it. And especially, that's probably why he introduced using substances so that she can continue to do it, because she probably didn't voluntarily do it like maybe before. So a lot of stuff Boosie said, it doesn't even make any sense. This is the same person that paid like somebody to be with his son. So just sit down, Boosie. But what Savari said, everybody have their own opinions, even though some of them don't make no sense. But trust me, if it was just this DV case, the prosecution have way more than that. A lot of people are conflicted. They think that, oh, he's gonna beat this case because that's all they got. Only Cassie, the trial just begun. Let's wait and see. Okay. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.